Hey, good morning, my dear viewers. Sorry for starting this class very late. We are 18 minutes behind the schedule. We were supposed to start this by 11 a.m., but unfortunately, we had some glitches that we have to fix before we can come online at this particular time. So we are sorry. At this point, we will not be able to be waiting for others to join, but the recording of this video will be available on our YouTube channel so that people can access it and watch it later. So I once again want to welcome you all to this. This is the first online class we'll be having, and we believe it's going to be very impactful for, especially for young and upcoming photographers. We are all still learning in this profession. Every day of our life in this profession is a learning field. So, as we are today, we are not an island of the knowledge, but we are here just to share our experience and what we expect that it will happen after this pandemic that is keeping everybody away from our normal life. What we think will become our normal life after the COVID-19 pandemic. So these are the things we will be basically discussing during this 30 to 40 minutes class. So I welcome you again, and please follow us as we go through the little thing we want to share with us today. Basically, what we want to be discussing today is uh, photography business. So we're not going to be going into much details, but at least the little we're going to share, we believe is going to be of great experience to every one of us. So let's begin. At first, let me first introduce who I am to you. My name is Gregory Adedayo Akiloton, and I am the CEO of Gregory Multimedia Studio. We are a photography studio. We also run a graphics design studio, photography, and we go into digital branding, content creation, and stuff like that. So today, I want to be sharing with us the little experience we have in this industry so far, and we hope that from it we can have people who gain from little experience as well. All right, let's begin. Photography business in Nigeria, we we understand how difficult it is to run a business in Nigeria. But no matter how difficult it is, people are making it day by day, and so that gives us the encouragement that no matter how difficult it is, we also can make meaningful impact in this particular industry. So here now, I want to talk about the tremendous boost in the industry over the past probably 10 to 15 years ago. Photography industry in Nigeria before now has not been a little bit robust, but the last 10 to 15 years, we've seen a very great increase in the opportunities that people are creating and how big the industry is becoming. Uh, we can see the lives of people who are representing us, making us proud in the global arena. People like Kelechi Amadobi, that big man, Big H, Henry Oji, CY Bello, Jide Dukoya, and the likes of them. And we were talking about documentary photography, people like Bayo Moboriowo, Tolani Ali, and Novo Izuru. You see all these guys doing very doing beautifully well in this industry, making Nigerians proud that this industry is a very big industry that we can tap into. And one thing that about photography is that if you can think of human life, you can think of any area that you can invest your photography time. Photography is not limited to portraits, documentary, and stuff like that. There are so many opportunities that you can venture into photography. Though in Nigeria, basically what is selling most in Nigeria at this moment is portrait photography, be it wedding, fashion, and still photographies that deals with human photographs. Usually you use it for advertisements, marketing, and stuff like that, or for your personal wedding and other events. So in the area of portrait photography, Nigeria is doing great, but there are so many other fields that we are yet to tap into, probably because the investment in those areas and the income in those areas is not so much at this moment. But we have people who are doing it and are selling to big companies outside Nigeria. You can think of landscape photography, you can think of wildlife photography, and some other stuff like that that does not really deal directly with human life. So there are so many opportunities you can venture into in the photography industry. And this boost in the industry that we're talking about has uh, we've been able to achieve this through through the use of technological advancement that we have in the recent time, most especially the use of the internet and computer gadgets that are the increase in our daily lives. Majority of us now carry powerful phones that, in fact, most of these phones now have up to 52 megapixels. When you see these photographs that these photos take, you'll be amazed that is it a phone that, especially iPhone and Samsung and stuff like that, you'll be amazed at the quality of the photos that they produce. So this technology has really helped in increasing the visibility of the industry, because now you can make your pictures now within minutes and upload it to the world and for people to see, admire, and contact you for businesses. Now, because this is a creative industry, people explore their creativeness, they explore their creativity, they explore their ability to create beautiful things, beautiful images. The beautiful the beautiful aspect, the beauty aspect of it has helped to entice young generations into this industry. And if you look at photography as well, because it deals with human nature, uh, the people who can really exploit this opportunity are really the young generations, because they have the ability to think as young as possible and to visualize impressions more than the elderly people. So majority of people who are coming to photography these days are young people who are keen to exploit their creativity, and they are not just having interest in this photograph because in this photography industry, but because they are seeing many people doing well in the industry. They are seeing people posting their pictures. They see that they can imitate them. They can see that they can do a lot more than these people are doing. So it's really helping them to come into the industry. But the more we entice people into the industry, the more the prospects. And I've talked about the different areas that we can venture into so that we can diversify our photography. The more we have more people in this industry, the increase the competition, especially in the area that most of us venture into portrait photography. So if you are going to portrait photography, then there is increase in the competition, but something must distinguish you from other people. And that's the reason why you as a person must distinguish yourself with your heart, with your creativity, with how you do your business, and all other things that surround the photography industry. So you cannot expect that you are going to be the lone shark in the ocean. There are going to be a lot of other fishes competing with the same food that you are that you are also fishing to prey on. So you are not the only person in the ocean. There are lots of people who are competing in the same market with you, and you must be able to distinguish yourself uh, to be able to have more opportunity in the industry. Let's continue. Now, if you are to prepare yourself for the competition, then definitely you must increase your ability in doing well in the industry. And there's no better way to equip yourself than to invest in your education in the industry. In the Western world and some other part of the world, their universities and some other technological institutions, they offer photography as a course in the universities and their institutions. But here in Nigeria, that we don't have any university offering this as a core course, except as what do you call it, as an additional course to a particular course. Probably you are studying mass communication or journalism, then you offer photography as one of your courses. Photography as a core course is probably not available in Nigeria so far, but with the advent of internet and internet classes like this, we now have access to top level information through the internet. So uh, before, this opportunity does not exist, and this has helped a lot of people to really become very good in this industry. So it is what you need. It is what you need to invest your time, your money, and everything into to become better. Photography is not just about pressing shutter, pressing the camera. Anybody you give the camera to can press the shutter, take a camera picture because the camera will do that for him. But the end result may not be what you want to have. So if you want to have a good result of what you are doing, then definitely you need to invest your time in understanding the technology, in having a better education about this industry. And this is quite available to anyone now. There are a lot of classes online that you can invest on. There are a lot of live classes that people organize at different points in time. So you need to invest in yourself so that you be able to become really good in the business. So don't just wait. And apart from paid services like this, there are so many free services that you can access via YouTube and some other online video platforms like that you can venture into to really develop yourself. Running this business actually comes with costs, especially when you are just starting. There are so many uh, things you have to establish before you can call yourself a photographer. At least you will need to invest in your gadgets, in your gears that you be using to practice as a professional photographer. So these are costs that you cannot afford to have. At least you need a camera. You will need probably a flash to complement your light in low light situations. You will need a computer to process your images. At least you may not be needing a printer or any other equipment to print out your documents, your pictures. At least you have laboratories and other printing press house that do that for you. So, but at least basically, you're going to need some basic gadgets that you can use to to run a profitable photography business. And basically, camera is the first thing that you will need. You will need to invest in some lenses so that you have range of lenses to deal with different situations and of your profession. So all this cost, you need to sit down, know what you are capable of having before you know before you venture into the photography, because there are cameras have grades. You need to know which one you are capable of purchasing at the time you are entering into the business. And if you are entering with a very high end camera, in what market do you want to be operating? With the markets where you'll be operating, be able to fetch you the money back within the specific time, within the specific period of time. So these are the things you need to look into before you invest your hard-earned money into buying your GS. So you need to understand that. Then you need to understand the costs of running your business. Now, running your business, it is not just about purchasing your camera, purchasing your flash, purchasing your lenses and things like that. But if you are going to have a studio, definitely you are going to rent a studio. You're going to furnish it with furnitures. You're going to have some props. You're going to have a lot of backgrounds and things like that for you to run a successful photography studio. So you have to put all these costs into consideration. Now, those are the things you need to invest that you are not going to be buying daily. But cost of running the business, like putting up the business on the website, running the generator if there is no light daily, and things like that. So all those daily expenses as well are costs that must be taken into adequate consideration before you can say that you are running you are running the business. Because if you don't take all these costs into consideration, you will not be able to calculate how what your pricing should be, and if this pricing will be profitable to you or not. So you need to know that, and knowing all these things will help you to have adequate pricing. Now, you are starting your business, you just don't want to remain the same. At least you want to grow. You want to make sure that at least your business is expanding. And if that is the case, then you will need to invest in your growth. You will need to invest in your expansion. And if you want to expand your business, then you need to know the cost that you will need to expand that business. So you need to be putting all these things into consideration. That is when you'll be able to do appropriate pricing of your business. And again, there are so many other costs that you may not be knowing at the time you are starting your business. Though this is not always common, but at some point in time, legal issues arises while you are doing your business. You may have disputes with your clients that may require you to settle either legally or out of court and things like that. So all these ones comes with certain costs. Your equipment may get faults at any point in time. They may break down because they are gadgets that are made by humans like us. So they can break down at any time. If they break down, definitely you need to replace them. So you need to put all these little costs into consideration before you can have adequate pricing for your business. Now, one mistake that most people do is that because they want to remain in the competition, because they want to compete with people, they tend to follow what is already in the market. Like, okay, let's assume that in this area they are taking a picture for let's say 1,000 naira. Now you are entering into the business now. You also want to enter. You also want to have clients that will patronize you. Now, for you to be able to have that those people to come to you, you now reduce your price to let's say 800 naira or so. Now, for you to be doing that, it means that you'll be working more to earn more. Now, if you are working so much to earn more, it means that you won't be able to work adequately well. It means that the people you'll be able to cater for will be minimal. But it pays you to calculate all your costs, know what you would need to run a profitable business, uh, what you would need to have profit in your business. If your picture will cost you 2,000 naira to produce, then we shouldn't be running that business at 800 naira, because that is like 1,200 lesser than the amount you should be running the business now. If you continue to run it at that 800 naira, any day you have any fuck up in your business, you may not have any cash to fall back on to cater for that losses, because you've been running the business as lost for a very long time and you did not notice it just because you want to be in competition. But what is better for you is to, if you are going to have just 5 clients who will be paying you the amount that will fetch you the money that you will need to run your business, it is better for you to have just 5 clients than to have 20 clients who will be paying you far less than what you're supposed to be earning. So all these things you need to put into adequate considerations before you can pick an appropriate pricing for your business. Don't just follow suit that here that I am now, people are running their business for this also amount. I'm also running my business with that. But you have to consider what you are investing in the business and how you can make profit in that business as well. Making money as a photographer, this is the hardest part to me, because it is easier for everybody to start any business at any particular point in time. I can wake up tomorrow, buy a gadget, buy my camera, buy a lens, and I'll start saying that I'm now a photographer. Now, but how do I keep making money in the business? Will people will people be patronizing me with what I have? Will people be calling me? Will I be able to make adequate profit with my photography business? What do I need to put in place to be able to earn adequate money? Now, I've talked about profitable pricing system. You need to put all your cost of running the business, all your investments, all your time, all your energy. You need to put all these things into consideration before you can put your pricing down, before you can say this is how much I want to be collecting for these services. You have to know how much everything will cost you. So it is not always easy because photography as a business, is branding system is different from the way we brand every other business. Like as other businesses now, you can have probably what's the you can do your what do you call it, your business cards, your company letterhead and stationery, all those stationaries. You can do it, serve it around, and people will start uh, they have your contacts and everything so that they can call you for that business. But as a photographer, the way you brand your business is different from that. What you are doing is a visual impression stuff. So people need to know your style. They need to see you stick with your style over a period of time. Now, you as a photographer, you cannot serve the general purpose because the way we visualize things is different from each other. Now, if your style is retro in perspective, or it is a kind of ancient looking perspective, then you need to stick with that because there are a lot of people who would like to be having such kind of images. So people must know you with your style. So this style that you are sticking with is what people will now know you with as your brand. Now, we have people who specialize in wedding photography. It's not that they don't shoot in any other area, but they don't publicize those other areas as much as they publicize their wedding photography. So we have people who specialize in portrait photography. It won't mean that they don't shoot wedding photography, but they tend to publicize their portrait photography more than they publicize their wedding photography business. So you need to know where you want to invest your time, your energy, and everything like that, and where you want to be earning more from. We have people who are into fashion, people who are into advert and marketing images and things like that. So you must understand that before you venture into any of these areas. Then there are ways for which you can earn money apart from your normal taking your taking photographs day by day. Yeah, these days what is common is for people to demand for such copies because they want to share it on their social media, they want to put it on their professional medias and things like that. But you must make sure that the images you are producing for them are so good so that you can encourage them to print and at the same time to have frames of those pictures. Now, most time because they all want that soft copy, they don't tend to think that they need this hard copy stuff because they don't deem it fit. But by the time you are able to sit down there and convince them to decide to print the picture so that they can, because for science, majority of the people now they don't know how to keep these soft copies so that they don't lose it over time. Because of them, when they change their phone, they lose the soft copy. And there, so you can convince them to print. And when you have them to print or you have them to have a frame of that picture, you will be earning more. In fact, far more than what you earn just giving them the soft copy. And apart from that, images that you shoot, like you can license them through Flickr and then Getty Images. These are uh, these are other areas where people, especially we Africans, we are not tapping into this area um, so much at the moment. You won't see people who want to make adverts that are related to African business and they'll be using the white people images. This is wrong. And it is not their fault, because by the time they were searching the internet for pictures they can use, they don't find African pictures, they don't find African images that they can use for that particular purpose. So we Africans should start putting our images up there on the internet for people to license to use in their various in their various needs. So that is one way you can make money from. You can sell stock images. Selling stock images is almost the same thing as licensing truth makers and getting images. But here now you put your image in stock photography sites where they help you to sell those pictures, and they give you certain commission per download. People like sites like Shutterstock and several others like that you can Adobe stock and other stuff like that, coded, and you have many of it on the internet that you can look at as, and you can look at their pricing, how much they pay their content developers, and how much they give to them, so that you know which one you want to invest more of your time and energy into. So, and you don't just put your pictures in the stock for the images like sites like that. You still need to publicize it, probably share it on your social media, or share it. You can even publicize it. You can run adverts on it so that it can be shown to more people who are into that industry that will be needing your images. So you can do all sorts of things like that to increase your visibility and for people to be downloading your images as well. Um, you can increase your knowledge in photography GS so that you'll be able to assist people to buy their GS. And if you're doing that, you sell this equipment so that you can earn money by guiding people to buy the adequate and appropriate equipment. You should be earning from that. It's one lucrative business that you can start venturing into. All you just need is to be looking for young photographers who are just beginning to invest in their gears, so that you can guide them properly on how they can make their purchase, so that they don't just buy what they won't be needing at the long run, so that you guide them appropriately and you can help them to buy. Helping them to buy, you make some amount of money from that as well. You can assist the photographer. Most of the time, we are not all busy at the same time. Sometimes we are less busy, and when you are less busy, you can contact your fellow photographers to assist them in their events, in their outings, so that whatever they pay you, at least you have something that you at least can fetch you for that probably for that weekend, so that you don't just be sitting at home doing nothing. That is another area where you can earn from, and then you can start teaching or start blogging. Yeah, there are a lot of content on the internet now that people read, and when you teach or you blog, when you teach, you can earn directly from teaching. Like if I make this class that I'm running presently, if I make it what if I make it a paid event now, at least that means you pay me before you can join the class. So that's one way you can earn from. Or you can run a blog whereby you post content day in, day out, and then when you start having enough traffic on your site, then you can start asking people who are relevant to your industry to put adverts on the website. That is affiliate marketing. So you can ask people to put their businesses on your website, so that people who visit your website can then from there visit the other links that you put on your website, and that can fetch you income as well. Those are kind of side hustles that you can do. And again, you can participate in photography competitions. There's a lot of photography competitions out there. Though in Nigeria it is not so common, but there are global competitions that you can venture into, that you can participate in. So all this, if you are lucky enough, if your photograph is good enough, then you can earn something from these competitions. So those are the little other areas where you can concentrate your efforts on where you can make money as well. We are in this together. COVID-19 pandemic, everybody's at home. Business is not booming as usual. no party, no influence, everybody's on isolation, keeping social distance and things like that. But that will not be the end. What this is just telling us that there will be a new norm, there will be a new era after this pandemic. But how do we need to prepare for this new era, for this new norm? What are the things we need to put in place? What are the things we need to expect after this COVID-19 pandemic? But one thing I'm seeing presently is that many businesses will go online, will go digital. Many businesses will go digital. And if this business will go digital, it means that there will be increase in demand for digital contents. I hope you are getting me. So there will be increase in demand for digital contents. And if there's increase in demand for digital contents, then photographers will be adequately informed. Because what we produce basically is like a raw material for other areas of human life. Like photographs will produce either used in adverts and marketing, they can either be used as educative materials, they can be used to popularize industries in the tourism industry, real estate, and so many other areas like that. So these are the areas we need to start venturing into that, okay? If businesses will be going digital, how do I move with them? How do I provide contents that are relevant to these industries? How do I make my images relevant to them? How do I give them images that will enhance their own business so that they can, in turn, pay me adequate amount of money for the service I'll be rendering to them? So these are the things we need to start looking at as a photographer. Uh, uh, Education in Nigeria over a long period of time should have gone digital, but we are very, very slacking in that. We are lagging behind in that. But now we are being forced to be doing that now because of this pandemic. So many people now are contacting people now to ask if they can help them record um, their classes and help them put it online for their students to see. Now, as a photographer, as a photographer, you can invest your time in narrative, educative stuff like that, so that you can help them narrate a particular class, pictorial, with facial impression, with images, so that by the time the students are able to view them, they'll be able to understand what the teachers is trying to explain to them. Your images now should not just be images that you just take and share, or just take for your clients anyhow. Let it be relevant to their industry. Before you start giving them that service that they seek you can seek to know where they work, what they do, things like that, so that the images you produce for them will serve them more than the purpose of just having a picture, but at least to serve in their other fields as well. So with that, they'll be able to know that you have stuff to render for them. That is, those are the things I think we should be venturing into. We should be looking, we should be expecting to have after this COVID-19 pandemic. So this will bring us to the last part of this class. I don't know if we'll be having any question. I don't know how many people we have online now that will need to ask us questions. So probably when we post this online, we will have questions that people will need to ask. Then we can answer them in the comment section under the comment section. So I once again thank everybody who have shared their time to view this class with me today. This will be done often. Again, we're going to share this on our YouTube channel. You can watch it later. I'm going to share the link on our social media platform. And then if you have any question, drop it there. We'll attend to it as soon as we have it. Thank you very much, and God bless us.